Well, welcome. We are building a new course here called Sell What You Write. I've been asked by some readers to do this for a while now. Um, I have a frequently asked questions page on my site, and I get these sorts of questions often. And it's funny, when it comes to selling what you write, I always joke with my close friends that if I wanted to curse my enemies, I would wish them moderate success, and by that I mean I would wish that they had enough success that the people in their network would know that they're the kind of person they could go to for a specific thing, but not enough success to free them up from their other responsibilities. And I think that's a wonderful position to be in a lot of ways because it means I'm growing and these sorts of things. But what happens is I end up in a situation where I need to answer the same set of questions over and over and over. And some of the frequently asked questions page has helped with that. But it's gotten to the point where I feel a need to kind of condense all of these answers into one spot so I can just point people, hey, go here. And if you want to do that, that will be where all those answers are. I have no intentions of being the kind of person that sells a bunch of courses. I have no desire to be someone going on like to make my entire career lecture circuits or to be a guru or any of that. Um, I believe my main job in life is to help people make what they feel called to make, and then also make what I feel called to make. And so my job is to help people get in position to produce their own work and also to produce mine. This is just a tool that will help that first thing. I'm going to put it out there. That'll be that, and I'm not gonna go on and on about it. I'm not going to start teaching college courses. I have no desire to be a full-time professor. That said, I've been hesitant to do this for a long time because I do not consider myself to be a wildly successful author. I do not sell Brandon Sanderson levels of books. I Most of the traditional contracts I've dealt with are very short form things or an essay, those sorts of things. I don't have the largest Substack subscription out there. I don't have, gosh, like a major like long form screenplay sale under my belt, even though I've sold several short form. I stopped working for ad agencies and these sorts of things, and yet I've had my hand in all of these different things. I've made money off of scripts that I've sold both in film and theater. I've made money performing for those things. I have made money selling a lot of short fiction, and though certainly not as much as plenty of people in the Science Fiction Writers Association who are my colleagues and older and wiser. I've still unagented, but I also have friends who are agents, and I've learned a lot from them and many whom I respected over time. So I'm kind of in this weird space, right, where I know a lot of the answers. I've I've worked from a lot of the answers, and yet I don't consider myself to have arrived. Not that I ever will, um, but I certainly. It seems odd to me that so many people would come to me for these answers, and I know what it is. It is I am the person in the network of people that I've built and am connected to that they know who has done some of these things, and they also know that I know people who have done those things, and I feel that it is time for me to condense all of that into one program that you could just buy and play through, and it'll give you literally every answer I could possibly give you from my experience and the experience of the agents, authors, editors, etc. that I know, without stealing any of their thunder, from their course. Like I'll reference some of the things that I've learned from Sue Shapiro, but I'm not Sue, and I don't want to take away what she does. So I will be deferring to her classes. It's the same thing with some of the things that I've learned on Query Tracker and some of the things that I've learned with Submission Grinder. You know, I want you to support Diabolical Plots. I'm not going to be starting a new submission, data hub. And the list goes on and on and on of people that I've worked with or I've studied under. I'm going to be deferring. I'm going to be quoting books. I'm going to be saying, here, take this resource. I'm a show and tell kind of guy. People come over to my house and I pull random stuff off the shelf. I pull Chomsky off the shelf. It's backwards. So the way I get my thumb in the right spot. There it is, Gutham. And the major British writers there. And I've got the Britannica Great Books behind me there. So all this stuff back here, I'm sitting on top of a lot of them. I just pull books off my shelf and all kinds of things and share it with the people that come over. That is what this will be. I will be showing and telling all of my friends' work, and it will show you how to sell what you write. It'll also show you how to write what'll sell. Oh, don't tell me that, Lance. I'm a literary guy. I don't want to, I'm not telling you to write something different. I'm telling you to write your thing in such a way that it will find its audience. It'll find its public. I write weird stuff all the time. And the author Christian Schultz, I texted him some of the stuff I was working on not long ago with a group of guys from Joplin that I have a text thread with. And I texted some of the stuff I was working on, the pitches of the novels. And he laughed at me and said, I can see you're finally writing to market, because I don't do that. What I do is write things that will be exactly what they're supposed to be for the reader they're supposed to find, and then I insatiably find those readers. I find them. Right now, I just got done hanging posters on streetlight posts. I've used ads on Amazon, Google, Facebook. I've used Goodreads giveaways. I've also used BookBub. I've used so many different ways to get things in front of people, and I will be able to walk you through how to write something that will sell, and by that I mean find its public, and to sell what you've already written. And I have no desire to change what you want to write, none whatsoever. I'm not that guy. There are people out there that will discourage you from writing things that are deep down in your soul. I actually feel the very opposite. I did marketing. And I can tell you a bit about that as well. But I did marketing writing. I did the $2 a word copywriting for a cave in Joplin that wanted to sell its space. I am here to tell you that what the world needs is people that have come alive. It needs you to tell your story that you have deep in your soul, the one that you're hiding, the one that you haven't finished, the one that you really, really, really need to tell. It needs that. It doesn't need people who have given up on the thing that they have a burden on their soul for. It doesn't need people who have set aside the big epic fantasy that they really want to write for something that they think will sell because there's a market trend happening. Because guess what? That trend's going to be over in 2-3 years. All right? It needs you to write what is burdening your soul, and then to find a way to find its public. All right. And that is all this is about. It's methods and strategies for getting you to write what is vocationally yours and put it out into the world. All right. Thank you for giving me a hearing this far. And I think that you will find that by the end of this, I will have it loaded down with all kinds of value. We'll be talking through multiple systems. I'll have my picture up in the corner of your screen, whichever side it is, and we'll do a lot of screen sharing. I'll do a lot of books that I have on my shelf here and elsewhere, and I think that by the end of it, you'll find an incredible amount of value packed into a really tight space. Phenomenal cosmic literary sales, itty bitty living space. It's the best I got. All right, we will see you very soon. Thanks for listening.